hope you are well. We have our apron on and we are ready for our first flavors of fall of the season. This is a bit of a seasonal series I like to do here where we spend the day baking and cooking autumnal inspired recipes, flavors of fall if you will. So on the menu for today, we're gonna do pumpkin scones. We have been absolutely loving scones. It's become a bit of a Saturday tradition for us to make scones. And now it's time to make pumpkin scones, which is just wonderful. And what's great about them is that they freeze really well, so you can freeze them and just pop them in the oven for a little fresh baked good whenever you see fit. So we have that. And then for lunch, I want to do an autumn harvest bowl with some roasted vegetables, butternut squash, some grains. So really hearty and nourishing. And then for dinner, classic sweet potato chili, but this one's extra special because we did a big harvest of sweet potatoes from our garden. So it'll be garden fresh from farm fresh. I don't have a farm, but farm to table, garden to table meal. So really looking forward to crafting up these recipes and continuing to welcome the new season together. Whenever we're first desiring to make scones, the first step is to pop a stick of butter in the freezer because you are going to want a nice cold stick of butter for this recipe. And I am going to be making sourdough scones today, but don't fret if you don't have any sourdough discard. I will link 2 different recipes and they're so scrumptious without the sourdough, but figured I would utilize it. Why not? And then of course we have our pumpkin, this little pumpkin container we keep with all of our fall decor. And then typically we don't use the whole pumpkin pureed can when we make recipes. So I just keep the extra pumpkin in here. And it's just nice to have this festive container in the fridge. Also, when it comes to grating the butter, I like to grate it instead of cube it. Some recipes will say you can cube it, but I just find that this helps it integrate within the flour more smoothly. I like to keep some of the wrapper at the end as long as I can so that I can get a better grip of the butter. As I'm grating the butter too, I'm mixing it up a bit and incorporating it within the sugar and flour so that the butter doesn't get all clumped up. Just barely enough extra puree, so we gotta open a new can. This is the point where you would stick any in the freezer if you didn't wish to bake them all at once. It's a scone! Scone! The scones are in the oven, and typically when we make scones, we'll simply dust them with milk or cream, sprinkle sugar on top before baking, and that'll be our little extra topping. But today for our pumpkin scones, we're gonna go the extra mile and do a maple glaze first, and then we're gonna drizzle it with a little pumpkin pie spice glaze. So that'll really take it to the next level, but of course also take more time, but I think it'll be worth it. We're gonna need a bigger bowl. Wow, they are stunning. I'm gonna make a maple iced latte to pair with our pumpkin scones. Perfect pairing if you ask me. Ice these beauties. This one. Oh wow, gorgeous. They're so tall. They had a great rise. For our pumpkin spice glaze, I put it in a little Ziploc so I can do a fancy schmancy drizzle. Okay, a little taste test and perfect fuel before we start making our autumn harvest bowls. Wow, this looks absolutely divine, and I've already made a nice little dent in our maple iced latte. Okay, still a little warm, which the icing would be a little cleaner if I gave it time to rest, but I was too excited. So it's a little melty, but still very appetizing if you ask me. Those are delightful. So warming. That's what I love about this time of year. All the flavors just feel very warming and cozy. Absolutely love these. For our autumn harvest bowls, I will say it can feel a little overwhelming because there are a lot of components, a lot of ingredients, but what I love about these bowls is that you have a plethora of leftovers because we're going to be cooking lentils, quinoa, pearl couscous, as well as quite a bit of roasted vegetables. So you can kind of take stuff here and there, either recreate the whole bowls every time you want for your meal, or just take those leftovers to add on to other meals and whatnot. Also, I am a bit more ambitious at the beginning of the season, and I'll buy like a whole butternut squash to cut it, but then later in the season, I mean to cut it this way first, but later in the season, I'll be much more inclined to just buy the already cubed butternut squash. So just do what you can, what feels right, but this is actually a good size. I feel like it'll be easier to cut because it's more petite. But we're gonna roast the butternut squash, get that going. Thankfully, our oven is still warm from our scones. And then I'm also gonna roast some mushrooms and really get the quinoa, couscous, and lentils cooking as well. For the roasted mushrooms, I'm gonna drizzle with some balsamic and then add some ground pepper, toss that. I also saved the seeds from our butternut squash, So I'm gonna add them to the same baking sheet just to simplify things, and I'm gonna toss these with some olive oil, sea salt, and paprika. When I make aiolis, I typically use just plain whole milk Greek yogurt for the base, and then I'll do a little bit of mayo as well, but I mean, they taste really, really similar. And of course, I mean, this has good ingredients too, but the Greek yogurt has those probiotics and other nutrient-dense qualities. I used to always squeeze my own lemon juice and chop my own garlic cloves, but not anymore. Some things have got to give. Okay, like I said, a lot going on here, a lot of components. Oh, I have a spoon, but I probably should get a fork. That would be more appropriate utensil, but I just can't wait another second. I'm gonna do a taste test and then I'll go get a fork, but oh, I'm so excited. That is so tasty. Wow, I love this. It's just very nutritious feeling, but also really tasty with that garlic aioli, and then you have the sweetness from the butternut squash and the balsamic, and then some saltiness. Oh, it's wonderful. It feels like a fancy bowl you'd get at like a health food restaurant, but it doesn't taste like overly healthy where you're not enjoying that savory, decadent feel. So I love it. And you can always alter this to fit your specific taste buds. I mean, you can switch out so many different components, and what's great again is we have all kinds of leftovers. And just like that, it's time for the grand finale, our sweet potato chili. I just pulled out our bag of garden sweet potatoes. I wish I had a scale to weigh this. I'm trying to like pretend it's my baby so I can get like a guesstimate of how many pounds of sweet potato our garden produced. I think it's about 35, 40 pounds. No way, because I can pick it up with one hand and I feel like I would struggle picking that up with one hand. Okay, 25, 30 pounds. It's a lot of sweet potatoes, which I'm very thankful for. Look at these babies. So they've been curing in the pantry for a couple weeks, and basically once you harvest sweet potatoes, you just let it sit in a dry place so that the starches can convert to sugars, and any of like the harvest wounds or scars can kind of cure up on the skin. So we'll pick out a few. I have some funky shaped sweet potatoes, so I'll probably pick out 3 or 4. I have some bigger ones, but I'll just do these funky sides. Look at this snake. This actually looks like a snake sweet potato. What in the world? The good thing is, I think it'll taste amazing. I can't guarantee it, but it'll taste just like a sweet potato. At least in the past, I've gotten funky shaped sweet potatoes in the past, and they tasted totally fine. So yeah, we'll do these funky ones because like more regular shaped potatoes can be used for something else, like a stuffed sweet potato, but I'm excited. And this is pretty much a classic chili recipe. I mean, sweet potatoes aren't always included with chilies actually, but I leave the skin on for the chili. Sometimes different recipes will say to peel the sweet potatoes, but the skin is delicious and it has extra nutrients. So we leave that on, add some green chilies for a little spice, gonna add some kale at the end since we have it from our autumn harvest bowl, but overall keeping it simple for our final recipe of the day. Turn up the heat. I love this pumpkin Dutch oven. It's my first time using it this season, but the problem is it's a little small, so I have to be cautious not to fill it up too much. Like I usually do a whole onion if I'm doing my standard Dutch oven, but I'm gonna tone it down a bit for this one. We'll have a nice thick chili tonight though. I sometimes put more broth if I want it to last longer, or just give me the illusion that I have a lot for the week, but we'll be a little more mindful not to fill this up too much. See, this is what the little snake, or I shouldn't say little because it's quite big, but this snake sweet potato looks like when you cut into it. It looks like a regular potato. So just grew in a funky, quirky way.
Meet me here at this time tomorrow. There's something you need to know. I got used to see you as a friend, but deep inside there's something else I know. Ooh, the world seems so hollow. Ooh, without you by my side. Ooh, from the moment I dared to follow a whispering voice inside, I realized I'm in love. Ooh, yeah, I realized I'm in love. So now we're here,
And some cheddar cheese.
I'm anxious and it shows, but I need
And the baby gets a little bit of everything.
my mind. 'Cause through all these years I wanted you to know what's hiding deep inside.
Cheers. That's a wrap on our flavors of fall. Good news is I don't have to cook for the next few meals. I feel like between the harvest bowls and the chili, we're covered. So I can just kick my feet back and chow down on these delicious autumn recipes. I really hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you end up making any of the recipes, or if you have any seasonally inspired meal ideas. I love to switch it up and think of fresh, yummy, fall-inspired meals. But I hope you all enjoy the upcoming fall season and you all are well, and I'm excited to see you next.